On the morning of July 31, 2012, a 67-year-old retired schoolteacher named Linda opened a letter from the Stockton City Pension Office. She had taught third grade for 31 years. She had attended every parent-teacher conference. She had bought her own classroom supplies out of her own pocket. She had done everything right. The letter told her that the pension she had been promised, the one she had structured her entire retirement around, was no longer guaranteed. She sat at her kitchen table and did not move for 4 hours. What destroyed Linda's retirement was not a market crash. It was not fraud. It was not incompetence. It was something far more dangerous, a promise made by people who knew, even as they made it, that someone else would eventually have to pay for it, that someone else is now you. Right now, in 2026, the gap between what America's public pension funds have promised workers and what those funds actually contain stands at $10 trillion. $10 trillion, larger than the GDP of every country on Earth except the United States and China. And unlike national debt, which economists track obsessively, this debt is almost entirely invisible, buried in state budgets, camouflaged by accounting assumptions, and protected by the political interests of everyone whose career depends on the gap never becoming public knowledge. Comfort is the enemy of survival. And for 50 years, the people managing America's public pensions have been extraordinarily comfortable. Here is how the mechanism works. A pension fund makes a promise. A teacher retires at 60. The pension pays her $4,200 a month for the rest of her life. To make that payment, the fund needs money sitting in investments right now, earning returns over time. Actuaries calculate exactly how much is needed. That calculation produces a number called the funded ratio. A fund at 100% has every dollar it needs. A fund below 100% has a gap, a liability, money it owes, but does not have. Now here's where the manipulation begins. To calculate what the fund owes in the future, actuaries must discount those future payments back to today's value. The higher the discount rate they assume, the smaller the liability looks on paper. For decades, pension funds across America have assumed they would earn 7%, 7.5%, sometimes 8% annual returns on their investments. They have used those assumptions to tell the public, the retirees, and the bond rating agencies that their funds are healthy. The problem is that a portfolio reliably earning 7.5% every year in the current environment is a fantasy, and everyone inside the system knows it. In 2023, Moody's Analytics ran the numbers using a more realistic 5.5% discount rate. The result was devastating. Funds that reported themselves as 75% funded were actually closer to 50% funded. The real aggregate unfunded liability for American public pensions, not the official number, the real number, came in at $9.8 trillion, rounded up to $10 trillion and rising every single year as baby boomers retire in record numbers and markets refuse to deliver the returns the spreadsheets assume. This is not a future problem. It is a right-now problem. It is 2026. In Springfield, Illinois, it is budget day. The pension bill arrives first, always first. $47 million before roads, before schools, before police, before a single pothole is filled or a single child is fed lunch. The pension always takes its share first, and after the pension takes what it is owed, what remains is almost nothing. Illinois. The state pension system is $238 billion in the hole. Every single dollar of new state revenue that flows into Springfield is being consumed by pension obligations before anything else moves. In 2025, pension costs consume 27 cents of every dollar in the Illinois General Fund. By 2030, that number is projected to hit 40 cents. Illinois is not growing its way out of this. It is drowning in plain sight, and its politicians are running on a platform of optimism that the math does not support. New Jersey. The pension system for teachers and state workers carries a $93 billion shortfall. The state has been legally required to make full pension contributions for years. It missed those payments repeatedly, under governors of both parties, because the money does not exist. In 2021, Governor Murphy made the first full pension contribution in 25 years. The markets applauded. The structural hole got 0% smaller. Kentucky. The teachers' pension system sits at 13% funded. 13%. For every dollar the fund has promised future retirees, it has 13 cents in the bank. A private insurance company with a funded ratio like that would be seized by regulators before lunch. In Kentucky, it just keeps operating year after year, with state politicians quietly hoping that inflation, investment returns, or someone else's watch will solve a problem they created. Comfort is the enemy of survival. Now, here is where this stops being an abstract financial story and starts being your story. There are 4 ways a pension fund can close a $10 trillion gap. None of them are painless. Option 1 is to dramatically cut benefits to current and future retirees. In most states, this is legally impossible. Pension benefits are constitutionally protected contracts. Courts have struck down benefit cuts in Illinois, in New Jersey, in Kentucky. The contract is ironclad. Option 2 is to massively raise taxes. Politically toxic, economically destructive, and in states already losing residents to lower tax alternatives, potentially fatal to the tax base. Option 3 is to hope for extraordinary investment returns. This is what most funds are currently doing. It is the strategy of a casino player doubling down on a losing hand. Option 4, the option nobody says out loud in public, is a federal bailout. And a federal bailout means you. It means every American taxpayer, regardless of whether they live in Illinois or Wyoming, gets handed a piece of a debt they never agreed to, created by politicians they never elected, to fund retirements in states they may never have visited. That conversation is already happening in Washington, quietly, without you in the room. To understand where this ends, you need to look at 3 cities that already hit the wall, each one bigger than the last, each one a warning that was ignored. Stockton, California. On March 9, 2008, the city council voted to expand pension benefits for every municipal worker. The council chambers filled with applause. The market was booming. The math looked fine. 4 years later, in June 2012, Stockton became one of the largest municipal bankruptcies in American history. When the city emerged from bankruptcy in 2015, services had been slashed, assets had been sold, and retirees received reduced benefits that nobody had voted for and nobody had warned them about. Linda, sitting at her kitchen table in 2012, was one of thousands. Detroit, Michigan. If Stockton was a warning, Detroit was a siren. In July 2013, Detroit filed the largest municipal bankruptcy in American history, with $18 to $20 billion in total debt, a significant portion of which was pension and retiree healthcare obligations. The pension fund for general city workers was 83% funded on paper. Investigators found the real number was far lower. When the dust settled, retirees took a benefit cut of up to 26%. People who had worked 30 years for the city, who had built their lives around a number on a statement, discovered that number had an asterisk they were never shown. Puerto Rico. By 2017, when Puerto Rico's government declared a form of bankruptcy under the Federal Promesa Act, its main pension system was 0.3% funded, not 30%, not 3%, 0.3. They had virtually nothing. An entire island's public workforce, teachers, police, nurses, sanitation workers, had been paying into a system for decades that had, by that point, almost no money left to pay them back. What followed was years of austerity, service cuts, and broken promises at a scale that no official statement had ever prepared the public for. 3 collapses: Stockton, Detroit, Puerto Rico, each one larger than the last, each one announced by the same playbook: optimistic projections, missed payments, political silence, and then a letter in a mailbox that nobody saw coming. This does not just hit retirees. It is already reshaping the city you live in. As pension costs eat the budget, maintenance is cut first. Potholes spread, streetlights go dark, then public safety thins, fewer patrols, longer response times. Schools lose programs, after school canceled, libraries locked, businesses shutter, families pack and go. The tax base shrinks, the pension gap widens, deeper cuts follow, cause feeds effect, a tightening spiral, a doom loop that looks like normal budgeting until the letter arrives. So, the question that opened this investigation is still unanswered. If Stockton was a warning, if Detroit was louder, if Puerto Rico was deafening, and if after all three, nothing structurally changed, not the accounting assumptions, not the political incentives, not the promises being made right now to the next generation of public workers, then what exactly has to happen before the people who hold the levers of this system decide the comfort of delay is no longer worth the cost? And the question you need to sit with tonight is this: do you know which state your pension, your 401k, your municipal bond exposure connects you to? Because the spreadsheet doesn't care whether you read it, but the letter will still arrive.